Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the Royal Navy recruitment website howtobecome.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to pass a Royal Navy officer interview. So it does not matter which specialism or branch you are being interviewed for as part of the Royal Navy. If you have an officer interview coming up, please do make sure you watch this tutorial from beginning to end, because I'm going to cover a number of interview questions and suggested answers to help you pass. Now, before I do that, a very warm welcome to this Royal Navy officer interview training tutorial. My name is Richard McMunn, that's me there in the centre of the screen. I am a former member of the Royal Navy myself and also a former fire officer of 17 years. And since then I've been helping people to pass their interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers to the interview questions you can't find anywhere else. On that basis, please do make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the weekly training videos I upload. I would also very much appreciate your support if you gave the video a like. Thank you very much. That tells me you enjoy the content, and I will therefore spend more time creating it for you. Thank you. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to. I've put my LinkedIn link in the description below the video, and it's always good to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Let's get into the training. So the first Royal Navy officer interview question I want to tackle is, why do you want to join the Royal Navy and not the Royal Air Force or the Army? So here is my suggested answer to help you prepare. I want to join the Royal Navy for 4 specific reasons. The first reason is I want to work for an organisation that sets high standards and that expects nothing less from all of its staff. Now, although I am still young, I have come to realise that the only way you can get on in life and make a success of yourself is by having high standards. The second reason why I want to join the Royal Navy is because I want to develop the skills and qualities I already have whilst learning new ones that I would not be able to get elsewhere. The third reason is based on teamwork. Now, even though I am applying to become an officer with the Royal Navy, whereby I will be required to manage and lead men and women, I still want to work as part of a team. This is because the sense of achievement you get from working as part of a team far outweighs individual gains. Finally, I would feel a great sense of pride if I get to become an officer in the Royal Navy. The reputation this organisation has around the globe is second to none, and that's the reason why I have my heart set on the Royal Navy and no other service. What I like about that answer is you are giving a set number of reasons. So you've thought about this, and I've been given 4 reasons there why I want to join the Royal Navy and not the Royal Air Force or the Army. So the second Royal Navy officer interview question I want to tackle is, why do you want to become an officer in the Royal Navy? So here's my suggested answer. I've considered very carefully the level of responsibility that comes with being an officer with the Royal Navy, and having analysed my own skills, qualities, values and traits, I feel I have the potential to achieve great things as an officer. For example, whenever I am at work or if I am with my friends and a problem occurs, I naturally want to step up and take responsibility for sorting things out. I also feel I can persuade and motivate people quite well, and obviously given the level of training I would receive as an officer, this is something I could develop and use effectively when leading a team of men and women. My desire and passion to become an officer with the Royal Navy has only grown with the more research I've conducted. Whilst I am certainly not perfect and I have a lot to learn, I really do feel I could make a good officer and help the already established leadership and management team of the Royal Navy continue to grow and thrive as the years go by. So that's a very good answer. It's a confident answer, and it gives some really good reasons why you may want to become an officer in the Royal Navy. The next Royal Navy officer interview question, number 3. What's the difference between leadership and management? This is a tough interview question that does come up quite often during the Admiralty Interview Board interview. So here is my suggested answer. Management is essentially a set of processes that maintain the effective functioning of an organisation. So in respect of the Royal Navy, those processes might be planning, preparation, solving problems, the Royal Navy budget, staffing, recruitment and retention, and also measuring staff performance through appraisals. Leadership, on the other hand, is about motivating, directing, inspiring and supporting Royal Navy staff and the men and women of your team to achieve a specific objective or a goal. Now, leadership is how you get your most valuable asset, which is the men and women of the Royal Navy, to use the resources and equipment at their disposal to achieve the objective. So that's my interpretation of the difference between leadership and management. I think it's a really, really good answer. It shows that you understand the difference between both of them, but they are also interlinked, and you have to use both of them to achieve your objectives as an officer in the Royal Navy. So the next Royal Navy officer interview question, number 3, is tell me what you know about Royal Navy officer training and which aspects you will find the most challenging. Here's my suggested answer. There are 3 initial phases of officer training. Phase 1 is militarisation, which consists of 15 weeks basic training covering fitness and medical assessments, leadership and weapons training, basic seamanship, CBRN and damage control training, and also battlefield studies in France, and then a 4-day practical leadership assessment on Dartmoor. Phase 2 is another 15-week course entitled Militarisation. This is where I'll put my leadership skills into a maritime environment. This will include advanced planning in the form of maritime tactical estimate, boat handling and navigation training, a 3-week sea acquaint on board a Royal Naval warship, critical thinking presentations, and also a 4-day practical leadership maritime exercise. Now, once I've completed phases 1 and 2, I would then move on to professional training, whereby I would learn how to specialise in my chosen role. This would include time at sea and also time in the classroom. Now, in regard to which aspects I would find the most challenging, I feel this would be navigation skills. I've not previously carried out much navigation training. However, to improve my knowledge in this area, I have undertaken 2 online study courses from the website Udemy to help me get up to speed in this area in preparation for officer training if I am successful. So obviously that's an in-depth answer, and my advice is to go that level of depth with regards to what you would be required to do during your training. I would also recommend that you look into your professional training and what you would be required to undergo, because that shows that I know what I'm going to go through, but also which areas I may struggle with. Now, you might think there aren't really any areas that you would struggle with, but I think we would all, if we're being honest, admit that there are some aspects that we would struggle with. So this question might be assessing your level of honesty, whether you really know yourself and what you're good at and what you're not good at. But what I like about that is I have shown that I'm doing something about it before I apply to join. So there's a website called Udemy. You can find lots of courses on there. And even though the level of training I would receive on that website with regards to navigation training wouldn't be to the same standard you get in the Royal Navy, it shows an intent that you are trying to learn and develop yourself, which I think is the most important aspect of that answer. So let's take a look at another Royal Navy officer interview question. Describe a situation in which you have shown moral courage. So we have to understand what moral courage is. Let me give you an answer. I was carrying out some part-time work in a bar during my university days. While serving a customer, I overheard another member of staff being rude and using inappropriate language to a female member of the bar staff. As soon as I heard his comments, I challenged him calmly but assertively. I said that the comments were not only unwelcome and not fair to our work colleague, but it wasn't good for our customers to hear that kind of language. Later on, the person who made the comments complained to me in private that he felt I was out of order for challenging him and that it was just a bit of banter. I told him that respectable banter was good for morale, but that when the comments made are offensive, they would not be tolerated all the time I was working there. He then backed down and said he respected my view and that he wouldn't say anything like that again. So I think that's a really good answer, because not many people would challenge inappropriate behaviour, but we should do in those situations, especially if we're going to be a leader and an officer and a manager within, the Royal Navy, a brilliant organisation. So I think that's a really good answer. Next interview question for Royal Navy officer selection is talk me through any past leadership experience you have. Here is my suggested answer. Whilst working in a previous job, our manager at the time called an urgent staff meeting. She informed everyone that due to the company experiencing difficult trading conditions, some members of staff would be moved to different departments, which meant we would need to take on extra duties. The vast majority of people in the team were not happy with the proposed changes. Once the meeting was over, I decided to speak to everyone to motivate them and explain to them how these changes would actually be good for all of us in the long term. I explained that we would not only be helping out the organisation in its time of need, which is what we all should be doing anyway, but that we would also get to learn some new skills in the process. After a bit of heated debate, everyone agreed with my suggestion that we should give the changes a try and embrace the changes positively. After 4 weeks of the new working practice, everyone was fully on board with the new way of working and morale was back up to its previous levels. So even though you are not being a direct leader there, you are showing leadership skills and potential because you are stepping up and saying to everyone, come on, we need to take on board these changes and adapt to them because it's going to be good for us and also good for the organisation. So that's a really good answer in my opinion. Now, if you want more help with your Royal Navy officer interview, and in particular the AIB, the Admiralty Interview Board, if you click that link in the top right hand corner of the video, it takes you to my website on how to become, and you can literally get access to my online training course within 2 minutes from now. It will really help you to prepare effectively for the Royal Navy officer selection process and the entire Admiralty Interview Board, including planning exercises, practical leadership tasks, the whole lot. So it's a really good course that I recommend you get access to. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. Please do subscribe and hit the like button. I appreciate your support. Thank you for watching. I wish you all the best. Have a brilliant day.